Hello everyone. How's it going? Who have we got? Swift Paint. Where are these models submitted? So if you've got miniatures to submit or you want me to show on one of these live streams, you can send it to my email, which is contact us at it is a bit late now to submit. I did get a last couple today though, so but I do plan on doing these every quarter, so the next time will be the end of April. But I'll remind people throughout the stream anyway. I feel like there's a bit of lag. Knock this down a bit. How's everyone going? So tonight we're going to be looking at the releases, and then after that we'll be looking at people's miniatures. Ryan Potter, we'll be seeing some of your miniatures tonight, and George Wright, hello. Andrew, Stephen, yep. As well, yeah, there's a Discord for channel members and patrons that you can access, and you can always submit what you're working on your miniatures there and show me what you're working on. I was having a look through the Discord today and I'll go back tomorrow and make some comments because I just haven't had a chance. Gavin Adams, hello. Ballistic, I did get your email, and we will be looking at your word bearer for this evening. Talk Matrix, can you put email in chat? The email is in the description. TableTopReady.co.uk, and that email address is always linked in the descriptions, and it's always it's pretty much everywhere. James Dorwood, hello dude, gutted I've missed sending stuff in, been really busy, hopefully next time. Yeah, as I say, end of April will be the next time you can submit miniatures for. I am going to be pretty much showing everybody's miniatures that they've emailed in. I have told people I am showing. The only times I haven't is if there's a lot of the same miniature, and that's not to say you don't deserve to be shown on the live stream. It's just that I've only got like a limited amount of time, and I do waffle on when I'm talking about these miniatures. What I might do is do a themed one, maybe do like show us your first miniature. I am thinking about different ways to sort of showcase your guys' miniatures, and have thought about maybe doing shorts for Instagram and YouTube, obviously TikTok as well, but obviously not that TikTok isn't going away, it's just all ridiculous. Of course it's not going away, it makes too much money, but that's an avenue I might think about later in the year. But for now, we can have a look at your miniatures through the live streams. Russell Alexandra, hello my best YouTuber, hello. Ça va bien? Yeah, I've seen some other channels doing that. The reason I kind of haven't done that is just at the minute the channel's getting a lot of new subscribers, so it tends to be a lot of new people coming through to the channel, and I tend to get a lot of people who are painting their miniatures for the first time or being reintroduced into the hobby. But I would like to introduce maybe like a challenge. Maybe I'll do that for the end of the year. I would like to do painting competition, but I don't think that's really in the spirit of Tabletop Ready. But I think a painting challenge is quite a good idea, and it's along the same lines as a competition. But instead of obviously it being competitive, it's a reason to paint a miniature. Can everyone hear me okay? I've got the Frank M, howdy. Andy, hello. Andy, I think I can't remember, I think we've got your miniature. Heal yourself. Hello. Ryan Potter, have I got any light recommendations? Yes, I talked about in the last stream. So this here, I've had this for, this is the light I use. I've had this for about 5 years now. And this is from the Daylight Company. So that's from the Daylight Company. And it's in the description of, again, it's in the description of all my videos. There's a link to where I got it on Amazon, and I think it's about £90 I paid for it, and I'd easily pay that £100 again. Before that, I just used daylight bulbs that you can get off Amazon. They're also linked in my videos and this live stream, and you could just pop those into your general lamps. Heal yourself, that would be cool. Yeah. Gymbox, we're seeing your miniatures. We're seeing some of your miniatures tonight. Peter's stories and reviews. Hello, Michael. Can you please tell a quick scheme for Space Wolf? What colour for primer, base shade, and highlight, and even for a darker tone, please? I do have a Space Wolf tutorial. Top Matrix, thank you very much for subscribing. For Space Wolf, it depends really. I think Russ, just look at the, you want like a mid colour. I don't actually own the colours to paint a Space Wolf at the minute, so I can't remember the names off the top of my head. But I do have a Space Wolf painting tutorial, and I'm pretty sure there's new Space Wolf miniatures coming this year, and I'll definitely be doing a Space Wolf, an updated Space Wolf tutorial if we get new miniatures. But I wouldn't want, and because of that, I don't want to tell you how to paint something now, because it may change when that video comes out. But yeah, go check out my Space Wolf tutorial. You can see some of the colours that I use in that. But you're looking at like rust grey, Benrizine grey, the Fang, those sort of colours. Like the names of the paints usually relate to what you use them for. So obviously some of the colours for ultramarines, the names are like McCrag Blue, Calgar Blue. You know, they're kind of ultramarine related, and that's the same for the Space Wolves. So that's a good indicator really of what Games Workshop intend those colours to be used for, is how they're named. So like some of the yellows, you got like Flash Gitch yellow, Bad Moons yellow, etc. Gavin Adams just got back into the hobby, stopped drawing 40k 8th edition, came back for Scaventide and new Kill Team stuff. Yeah, I'm currently I haven't. I'm still. My next video's out tomorrow, and it's Reboot. It's not Reboot Gulliman. It's Marnie's Calgar. I haven't finished editing it but it'll probably take another couple of hours. So I'm getting that finished tomorrow morning. So if you're a member or patrons, you will probably get that at lunchtime, UK time. So I look forward to that. That'll be out tomorrow evening. I've got Calgar here. So he's painted. You can see pictures of these guys for members and patrons, and then you've got the Victress Guard. I know you can't see it now, but I don't want to spoil it. You can wait for the video tomorrow. One thing I am going to say about these, the Victress Guard, the Power Sword and the Storm Shield arms, I left them separate to paint, and I really wish I hadn't, because it was a real pain to attach them once I finished painting them, because they're really awkward. They're sort of cutting on the cloaks, and it was a real pain to clean it up after. And looking at it, it's less hassle to have painted them when they're fully assembled. And I do mention it in the video, but for those watching this and then they watch that, just be aware of that. It did help when it came to sort of painting them and showing how to paint the parts for the video, but if you're painting it for yourself, I'll just fully assemble the Victrix Guard and just leave the head and the backpack off. What was my point? Adam. No, Gavin Adams, sorry, yeah. I talked about the Marnie's Calgar because after that I'm working on the AOS starter set. And I'm going to be doing a beginner video for Stormcast first, and then I'm going to be doing the beginner video for Skaven, and that's just because the Stormcast isn't going to take as much time. And I need to kind of catch up with myself, because this Marnie's Calgar video has taken about twice as long as it really should have. But and then yeah, so this year you're definitely going to be seeing you'll still get Warhammer 40,000 tutorials, but you'll see more variety. You'll definitely be getting Age of Sigmar. I've got plans to do Necromunda, and I even want to do some Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and I've always wanted to do some videos for the channel, but that's throughout the year. Yeah, I will be doing Emperor's Children when they come out, just because they look like a really good challenge to do. Nids for Days, hi all, Lee here, hello. Ballistic, Red Grass Games just announced a new desktop lamp cheaper than their July one. Red Grass Games, I'll make a note of that. Because I'm always looking out. I want to see if companies will start sponsoring me for the channel, but actually useful things, rather than like Manscaped or something like that. Stephen, Colourforge do the Fang spray, which could be good for Space Wolves. Yeah, the Colourforge stuff, I wouldn't mind trying their stuff out. I have emailed them, but they just don't reply to emails, so I'm probably not going to show their stuff on the channel. But but I know Colourforge, their stuff's good, and I definitely want to try out their stuff on the for myself. Russell Alexandra, I have a question. What colour should I paint the weapons of my Necrons? Knowing that my Necrons are purple, very black, and bone. So you've got purple, black, and bone. So you've got 3 colours there. I'll probably do like a moot green, because that green really pairs well with the purple, black, and bone. These are just examples. You've probably not chosen these colours, but I just wanted an example. So I'll go with a green. And I'm pretty sure we saw a chapter of Space Marines, one of these showcases, where someone had done like a green and purple. But if you didn't want to go green, you could do it blue. So green or blue. But I would make whatever blue or green you choose, I would make it like a very vibrant version of that. So you could either do like you could go like Baharoth blue or like moot green as a really sort of like, because you want to, it's going to be an accent colour, so you want it to sort of almost overpower the rest of the colours to draw your attention to it. Let's see. Gymbox, I use D&D paints because they're cheaper, but the same applies to the colour names for the most part. And what company do... Is that like... Is it Wizards of the Coast that do D&D? I didn't realise them had their own paint range. Floor Juice, hello. Are you doing an updated Krieg guide when they come out, or should we just stick to the old one? I have watched my old Krieg video. And honestly, it still stands up, and I don't know how I'll change it. The only way I'll change it is to simplify it. But I feel like that wouldn't do it justice, because I feel like people take my videos and kind of simplify them even more anyway, and they don't always tend to do everything I show in the video. Ballistic, thank you very much for becoming a member. I really appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, go check out the Marnie's Calgar if you want to go see it. If you remember, you can post. I'll post in the community. And if you want to get in the Discord, some people do have trouble when they become members. They do have trouble finding the invite link. But if anyone here is a member and they struggle to find an invite for the Discord, please just email me, and I will send an invite to you, and I'll make sure you get in the Discord. And that goes for patrons as well. If anyone has difficulty finding the invite, but you only get an invite if you become a Patreon or member. Floor Juice, yeah, so I'm undecided about the Krieg tutorial. I'm definitely going to be doing an Emperor's Children tutorial, definitely. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to fit in a Krieg tutorial with what I've got planned. I do want to do a Rogel Dawn tank this year though, with different camo patterns. Maybe I'll do Krieg then, but I don't want to do Krieg at the moment because it's difficult when everyone's doing a lot of the tutorials and you get a lot of the same content. It's tough competition, and that's just because of how YouTube works. And it even says, they even tell you that if there's a video that's already doing really well it actually buffs everybody else's videos to push that video that's doing better. So for example, you've obviously got Games Workshop's official tutorials, and because they do so well, and that's why I try and stay away from doing current topics unless it's a Space Marine chapter, because there's already so much content on there already. I don't feel like it's so much, but when it's like brand new miniatures, now I say that I will be doing an Emperor's Children one, but I just feel like I feel like they're interesting enough to paint for the channel, and they're going to be such a massive release because everybody's been waiting for them for like 10 years. The Olive Tree, hello. Patrick Coronel, hello, just want to say thank you. I was able to paint my ultimate starter set thanks to your videos. I'm really glad. I love being able to do the beginner videos, especially for like the starter set, and that's why I'm really looking forward to doing the Age of Sigmar stuff. Frank M, I know what you mean. Mephiston has huge seams if you do it in sub-assemblies. Yeah, I think because I've not actually really had that much in the way of that problem before on miniatures, and it tends to be miniatures around that time where someone was working for Games Workshop and they were cutting the miniatures up in the craziest ways. So these Victress Guards, you could have easily just left the Power Sword handoff and the Storm Shield handoff, but instead they've just cut into the cloak, where it's quite important to like have a nice looking surface, like detail on the miniature. And I feel like Mephiston was out at round about that same time where all the characters would be becoming Primarisified. Ryan Potter, what AOS armies will you look for? So I'm really interested in the new wolves that are coming out, the Goblin Wolf Riders, like the Gloomspite Git miniatures. I really want to do Iron Jaws, and I think I want to do the what's the Night Shroud? Not Night Shroud, like the ghost ones. Someone will have to mention what they're called. The Soulblight Gravelords do look good. James Dorwood, have I seen any of the Trench Crusade minis? They look badass. I haven't. I do keep an eye on what other people are doing, and I do get sent images of what people, not other products from other companies. I've probably seen them, I can't connect the name of the miniatures to what they look like. Ryan Potter, I've just bought the new Lord of the Rings starter set, but got it to do for a few weeks' time, just finishing my Slaves to Darkness and Star Wars Legion models. What's happening with Star Wars Legions? Because there was a new Star Wars game, tabletop game that came out, and I was pretty sure Star Wars Legions kind of took a back seat. And I knew for a while the Star Wars Legion miniatures, you couldn't really get them here in the UK. Because I was interested in that tabletop game because the miniatures are really accurate to the films. Lord of the Rings I do want to do by the end of the year. Stormcast, Soulblight Gravelords, Skaven. Yeah, because I've already done Stormcast. I've got an old Cruel Boys video. I'm going to be doing Skaven. Mini Bang, good morning. It's currently evening here at the moment, so it's 6. It's just gone 6. I'm good, thank you. Nighthorn, that's the that's what I was thinking of, the Nighthorn. Yeah, because the Nighthorn are really good, and I want to do the Sylvaneth. Yeah, I want to do a lot of the Age of Sigmar miniatures because they're absolutely beautiful. And I can explore a lot of different techniques and ways to paint them, more so than 40k miniatures. Jimbox, just saw you actually replied to my email from a while ago. Thank you for the feedback. My first Millie and my Blood Angel. Yeah, we're going to be seeing that later. Yeah, I found some emails today as I was looking through ones to show later, and there were some back from November which kind of got lost. So I do apologise for that. I have replied to emails wherever I could, and because I do like getting emails and seeing what people are working on. Robert Henderson, hello. Stephen, yeah, that Carnifex you painted, I feel like you painted a work in progress a couple of days ago. It looks amazing. You should be really proud of it. If you give me a minute, we'll have a look at it. Let's see, image. There we go, should be able to see that. Where's a good place to, we'll just put it in the corner for now. Yeah, so that looks really good. I was really impressed with this. I love just your color transitions and just like the color you've got on the head. It's really good. There we go. Well done. Peter, stories and reviews. What light do you recommend? I use a cave headlight. As I say, I've got this light here. It's a daylight. It's from the Daylight Company. And I've put some links and descriptions of all my videos to what I use, like the lamps and the bulbs that you can get. If you need to know where you get them. Alzi, welcome to the stream. Ryan Potter, what AOS army you planning on doing apart from the starter box? So the Nighthorn, obviously the Skaven, Stormcast, I want to do Iron Jaws, I want to do the new Wolf Riders. I want to do a lot, so I want to do all of them if I could. It's just finding time and getting around to them all. Minibang, I've recently bought the Maladon box set and I've painted all the models in about 2 weeks. Obi Stonks Kenobi, I like the new Fulgrim. Emperor's Children is such a flamboyant bunch. Yeah, they do look really nice. We'll have a look. I haven't really looked at it yet. I've only seen the YouTube videos, but we'll have a look at them all. Ballistic, they did that with the Skaven type Stormcast already. The cuts are on the cloaks for the main figures. I've not opened the box yet, so we'll have a look at that when we get to it. If there's any issues, hopefully I can bring it up in the video. Floor Juice, the AOS ghosts are called Nighthaunt. I really like the aesthetic as well, and they would probably be my army of choice if I did AOS. Yeah, I think it'd be really nice to sort of show a way to glaze them or get that really sort of nice the colours on them. Because I know, is it Mengel Miniatures? He did a tutorial a while ago that I really like, so I might use that for inspiration. Mengel Miniatures, if you didn't know, I think he works for Army Painter now. But I loved all his stuff before he went over to Army Painter, because obviously he now works with Army Painter products. But I think he used to do a lot of stuff for Games Workshop in their articles for White Dwarf, and he obviously had his own blog, which I'm not sure it doesn't really update that much anymore. Ballistic, have you thought about doing restoration videos? eBay Miniatures Rescue is one of the two that does it, and I personally don't think he's as skilled as you in painting. I have thought about it, but there's only so much you can do restorations. And I know one approach that everybody does is just strips the miniature and then just paints it normally. Whereas I would like the idea to get something and build on top of what's there, if it's salvageable. But it's definitely an idea for the future. But I've watched some of the eBay Miniatures rescues, and he does some good videos. It's an expensive thing to do for a video. Because a lot of the time, what you find on like eBay and stuff, people are just overcharging for what they're putting up. Because really, with something like that, you want to show people that you could probably get miniatures cheaper, but they don't tend to be. British Doge, I'm trying to do some highlights, but my issue is that my brush doesn't keep a nice tip. Do you know how I could fix this? One of the things you can actually do is try a bigger brush. So let's say you're using a small brush at the moment, maybe try using a medium brush. But it's tough if if you're struggling to get a tip on your brush. It could be an issue with the actual brush. And just make sure your paint's thin. Because a lot of the time as well, you might have paint inside the actual brush, like quite deep in the brush, so it's sort of, when the brush has too much paint in it, it's obviously going to like spread out a bit more. So that's why I say remove some paint on some paper towel first, because it'll draw out some of that paint, so it'll bring the bristles back in together and you'll get a tip, if that makes sense. Mini Bang, do you think we'll do a video tutorial for effects on miniatures? Because I think it would be helpful and be quite popular. Yes, I do want to do a video like that. I just want to get better first, because there's a lot of techniques that I want to try out individually for videos. Stuff like object source lighting I want to try and do this year. But it's definitely a general video that I do want to do for like creating texture, object source lighting, etc. Just things that aren't techniques, they're more, so like freehand, for example. They're styles, I suppose, more than techniques. Because I've obviously done non-metallic metal, so you can include that in that. Gymbox, no worries at all. My camera does me no favours. Probably shouldn't have used the flash looking back at those pics. Stephen says the Carnifex is a half-day mini race through in a haze of a Nurgle pox. Well, he did a really good job. Yeah, the George Wright, that Screamer was like some of the first Tyrannid miniatures from the second edition. No, the Screamer Killer, the new plastic one's based on that miniature. Originally, it was the Carnifex. So that Screamer Killer is actually the Carnifex initially as well, and the Carnifex that they brought out after that was based on that miniature. But now the Carnifex is his own thing, and they've brought out the Screamer Killer for the recent edition. Yeah, eBay, like rescues and stuff, would be great to paint some classic miniatures, but again, it's just the cost involved. When I start making the big money, maybe I could do it. I think we've caught up. Okay, so let's have a look at some news and the releases. We want screen share, not hobby hangout. So obviously, I think it was Thursday night, so Friday morning for other parts of the world, we had the LVO preview. I've seen the clips on YouTube, but I've not had a proper look at anything yet, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. We'll just go in. So yeah, Emperor's Children's last. We'll just go down the list. So first up, we've got Soulblight Gravelords. When I saw, I'm sure they brought these out before. Are these just updated miniatures for them? So I think they called these the Barrow Whites. Is that right? So this is the White Lord. Make sure everyone can see. So we've got the White King on Skeleton Steed, and this is the new box. Again, I love all of the Age of Sigmar miniatures. I don't think there's a range in Age of Sigmar that I don't like. I need to what we're going to do. No, we don't want YouTube. I'm convinced there's already miniatures like that. So obviously you've got this White King. Oh yeah, the Death Rattle skeletons. Yeah, I suppose they're worth doing. They do look awesome. I just feel like sometimes there's other ranges that need updating first. 4K, hello, can't stay long, I'm at work, I'm just wanting to pop by and say hello. Hello 4K. Thank you for saying hello and dropping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're probably right. Stephen says it feels like they're making room to move kits to the old world. Yeah, I feel like they did that with the Savage Orcs. But it makes sense because they obviously do want to separate the two ranges. I love that paint job. It's almost non-metallic metal. If you look at the headdress, well, the head armor. And I like that they're doing a lot more in the way of variation in how you can build the kits, which 40k needs, I might add. No, these are really nice. Yeah, because I don't think they had any mounted mounted version. I really like all the vampire stuff from the Warhammer Quest box that came out. I like those vampires. Is that a new miniature? No way. See, I've only seen the YouTube videos, so I've not actually seen it. I can't have seen everything then. That's really nice. Owlsy, thank you very much for dropping by. I did not know they'd done an updated zombie dragon. That looks amazing. This must be a named character. Bowdry and his Crimson Keep are now bound to Supreme Lord of the Undead by an unbreakable curse. What are the names of the Nagash's generals? Now, he looks amazing. Look at that tongue. This is a miniature that's probably has needed an update. Really impressed. Makes me want to do vampires. See, this is why I want to do more Age of Sigmar stuff for the channel, because it just looks amazing. Mortarks, thank you. Yeah, so he's not a Mortark. Well done, Games Workshop. I want to see more of the Goblin Wolf Riders, though. So I feel like we haven't seen all of them yet. Oh. So next is the Black Library miniatures. I do like that they do these, because it adds character to your army. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of them at Golden Demon, you're right. Yay. Only just been able to join the stream. Have I missed my Dreadnought? No, I haven't. We've not shown any miniatures just yet. We're just looking at the releases. So we'll probably do this and then we'll move on to looking at everyone's miniatures. So you haven't missed anything yet. Oh, everything's slowing down for me. Hang on. I like this this hair. Good evening. So we've got a dark elf. I haven't read much Black Library stuff because with the Black Library books, I never know where to sort of get in and read. Be nice to see like a coherent sort of story arc. Because I think that's why the Horus Heresy did quite well, just because it's like one big story that you could sort of, you knew where to start and where to end. Eisenhorn's one of the miniatures that I would have wanted to paint, but if it's not that good, I'm sure they will release Eisenhorn again, especially if they if he's going to be the Amazon TV series. I don't know, they might have a new character for the Amazon stuff, but Eisenhorn's definitely, or an Inquisitor. Rafi, hello. Obi Stunks Kenobi says start with Horus Rising. Yeah, I have read a lot of the Horus Heresy series, but I want to explore Age of Sigmar stuff and like the up-to-date 40k stuff. Nids for Days, did you get my email on my Tyrannid Harpy diorama that took me so long? Yeah. We're going to be looking at it later. I'm sure, did I not email? I did email everybody saying I was showing their miniatures this evening. If I didn't, then we are going to be looking at that later. I'm good, Rafi, thank you very much. Stephen, I'm lucky enough to only have 2 Finecast minis in my pile of shame. But the sprues are warped and there's flash everywhere. Yeah, that was another... Yeah, the Finecast wasn't that great either. They always had a lot of bubbles in as well. So much so that they had to release a product that liquid green stuff. Whereas now, obviously, I don't think they do that anymore just because it's all plastic. I know there's some Finecast. I know there's resin stuff for Old World now, though. Where are we? The High Elf stuff. So in the video, I've only seen these guys. The lad who I play Old World with is currently I think he's currently working on a High Elf army. They're not fun to play against. He had you can make I think you can make a unit ethereal, so obviously you need magic weapons to attack them. So they can be frustrating. But I like the High Elf range. I think I want to do Empire. I want to do an Empire range, an Empire army. Always love transfers. This is something I didn't see some of the characters. Nids for Days, that's okay, don't worry. Matt, just got my Kill Team start set and I'm very tempted to paint them in Pallet Hand scheme from your tutorial. For Space Marines, I think I'll go for Guardians of the Covenant. I'm not sure what colours are the Guardians of the Covenant, but I like the name. The Pallet Hand, the scheme I show in that video is a really easy scheme to do and it looks really good. So I do recommend doing them in that scheme. Because even if you're going to do a Death Guard army, this is just like a nice opportunity to do some in a different scheme to what you'd paint an army. And I feel like that's what Kill Team's good for, is exploring different schemes and factions and ranges to what you'd maybe collect and paint for like an army. This must be a new miniature because I've not seen this guy before. I love the colours. Wandering Modeler, good evening. Hope you're well and having a good week. Yeah, it's been a good week. I've been working on the Marnis Calgar tutorial, which should be out tomorrow evening. For any patrons and members, I've not uploaded the tutorial yet because it's not finished. I'm still finishing on editing it. I've done the basic edit. I just need to sort of add all the paint pots and various bits. But I'll get that done. I'll get it all finished for tomorrow. If I was to do an elf army, I'd obviously do it in like the really retro scheme, because I think you had like the dragon riders. I think they're like on the they're still on horses. I can't remember what they're called, but they were like bright red and green. Yay, how long does it take you to edit one of your videos? It depends. If it's just the general painting video, it can take about 2.5 days to do. So you're probably looking at let's see, about 20 hours. But this Marnis Calgar video it's a bit longer, because like a video might be about 15 minutes long, but this Marnis Calgar's, I think it's going to break 20 minutes. And that's just because it's obviously a lot of the way I do my videos, there's a lot of cutting. These guys. Jamie Howard, looking forward to the new video. Will you be doing the Honor Guard next after Calgar? So I do the Victrix Honor Guard with Marnis Calgar, because a lot of the stuff you use to paint Marnis Calgar, you paint with these guys. So you've got in the video I'll show you how to paint Marnis Calgar and the Victrix Honor Guard. There they are. I know you can't see it very well, but you'll see it tomorrow. Ballistic, by the way, the invite to your Discord is invalid. The one in the membership tab of the YouTube. Okay, I'll sort that out after the stream. I will not forget. Guardians of the Covenant. I know I put an invitation in the community posts, but if you have a look in the rewards you get for being a member, you should be able to find a link that works in there. But I'll repost the link to members after the stream, so don't worry. Matt, Guardians of the Covenant are Dark Angel successor chapter, basically Dark Angels with silver armor, black shoulder plates, and red capes. Yeah, I have seen that color scheme. I like that color scheme. That's a color scheme I've not covered for Space Marines. Is a metallic color, like a silver color scheme or a gold color scheme. which I need to tackle this year. So like Iron Schools, for example, I could do. Because I know, well, I know David Latham has his chapter. I think he does Iron Schools. Yeah, so these are High Elves. These are going to be released for the Old World. And all these miniatures were available, and these are just sort of like re-released. And Mark Slays, thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Thank you. Necromunda. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the High Elves. These I'm excited for as well. I think these look amazing. So for the High Elves, there's 2 new resin characters, 1 regiment, and new plastic horses. So everything's a bit laggy for me at the minute. We'll have a quick scroll and get to the Emperor's Children, just because I'm wary of the time, because I still obviously want to look at everyone's miniatures. Yeah, these guys look great. I love this armored hab. And some new terrain as well. This guy, what we'll do is, I want to look at this guy as well, because the way they painted it, I love. Stephen, someday before they disappear, I want to buy all the Necromunda minis, because they're every single one of them is so good. Yeah. I think this year I'm going to start investing in Necromunda miniatures. I'm sorry, everything's just being a bit choppy at the minute, so that's why I'm not sure if you're seeing that, but it should be fine now. Yeah, this guy. So this is the Lord of Poxes. They've already got a miniature for this. He looks like who's robed already, right? And if it's the miniature I'm thinking of, then this is a great replacement for it. But I just love the paint scheme. I know why it's being choppy, because I'm obviously on the internet. Just that sword there. Right, let's have a look at some Emperor's Children stuff, and then we'll have a look at. We'll take a little break. We'll have a little break, and then we'll look at people's miniatures. And I'll let everything catch up with itself. So they haven't shown a launch box for these guys yet. But you've got to imagine that they're going to do one. Lucius. So they've now done all the main characters for they've got Araman, Lucius, Khan the Betrayer, and Typhus. I think everyone will be asking for some Drukhari now. I don't think they've not. Well, it might be at the end, but I'm sure they'll announce a launch box for these guys. Because you've got the Krieg box that's just come out, the launch box for those, and then you've got the launch box for the Goblin Wolf Riders still need to come out as well. Again, I like that they're bringing out multiple builds for the miniatures. Oh yeah, they've showed an army box already. Okay, yeah, I'll probably show that at the end then. Again, I've only seen the YouTube clips. I love this colour of the cape. PB&J. Hi, working on an Elder army for my friend. Good luck. Thank you for popping in, saying hello. This looks like a very sort of second edition-esque design. Or like Rogue Trader, I would say. Not even second edition. It's very sort of curvy. I love the marbling. You can see the marbling on the armour. That's crazy. That's something else I'm gonna have to try and do now. And obviously the Noise Marines all look amazing. Yeah, I love this green accent colour they've got going on. And obviously you've got like the warp energy. I'm glad they didn't go down the line of making the weapons look like instruments. I think that would have been too cheesy. So these must be like the possessed. like the enhanced versions. So even the most common Space Marines among Fulgrim's Legion are masters of their own brand of warfare, and are often found collected in two distinct formations. Infractors are obsessed with experiencing every sensation the galaxy has to offer and hurl themselves into close combat with wicked dueling sabres, determined to hunt down the most glorious opponents and prove their superiority at the edge of the blade. So I'm wondering if these are going to be... It doesn't look like you'd be able to build these from the Noise Marines though. So these must be their own box. And then these guys. And these just must be the generic Space Marine, the Chaos Marines. Okay, so this is the launch box. That is a good launch box. So I'm leaning. And you'll probably see these soon, I would have thought. Maybe next month. That's really good. That's a really nice range. I don't know what I would paint for the channel. Probably Noise Marines. I think these are my favourite. Okay, so they've said February the 25th for the box. No, really impressed. Craft, have you ever painted the Titus miniature? Thank you for the super chat. I haven't painted the Titus miniature. I am debating if I'm going to do it. I do want to paint Titus because it's an obvious one to do. I just feel like I need a break from painting Space Marines. But my next few videos are going to be Age of Sigmar. I am going to be painting the Blade Guard after the Age of Sigmar videos. And I'm debating whether I'm going to do Titus as a video with them. I just need to make sure Titus is available all the time, because I would have done him by now. But he's an awkward miniature to get hold of. Because I think you can only get him in the starter box. Andy, is it frowned upon to have far more grey stuff than it is actually painted? No? I think that's fine. As long as it gets painted eventually. Man, those Noise Marines look very hard to paint, even on a basic level. That's why I want to do a painting tutorial. If you look at this loincloth here. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of new things going on that I really want to tackle. I really love this marble armor. And then obviously this galaxy. So there's definitely a lot going on, and I love this green colour. And I'm really interested to see how that's done. So I'll definitely be doing, I might even do a couple of tutorials for these guys. So I really like these. I might paint some of these and some of the noise marines, or maybe a character. Yeah. So I'll probably, I don't know. We'll see what comes out. But I love the range. Really, really nice. Because I love the Hidden Knights of Slaanesh for the Age of Sigmar range as well. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at people's miniatures. Hello. Craft, I was lucky enough to get my hands on Titus for a cheap price. It seems the only way to buy him is to get the Space Marine 2 board game or buy him separately. Both options are extremely expensive now. Yeah. I know now and again Games Workshop release like a beginner box with him and some gaunts. But if I was to do a tutorial on him, I would have to make sure I would want him to be easily available all the time. And that's kind of why I don't really tackle some miniatures that people want me to paint, because they're not currently available from Games Workshop. So I think we've got a few people's miniatures to have a look at. I'm not going to be criticizing or giving constructive feedback. We're just going to have a look at them, and I'm going to say kind of like what I like about them. If people ever want me to critique or have a look at their miniatures and want me to sort of give advice on what I see, you can email me and ask, but otherwise I won't do that otherwise. If anyone wants to submit miniatures in the future for one of these live streams, I'll be doing them every quarter. So the next one's going to be in April, end of April. Just send an email to contact us at tabletopready.co.uk and I'll choose some to show on the live stream. But the link to the email is always in descriptions of the video. As well, we've had a few people join as members tonight, which I really appreciate. You can become a member and you can join as a patron on Patreon. Both give you access to the Discord. People are always showing off their miniatures, what they're working on, and their finished miniatures. When I get a chance, I get in there as well, and I leave comments. You get access to. I make sure I update people when I can, so you get a couple of updates per tutorial, and you'll also get access. You'll also get the tutorials early as well. Tomorrow the Calgar video is going up. It's not very often that it's so close to the release of the video that I've finished the edit, but this time it's a bit close just because it's taken a bit longer. But usually you'll get it about 2 or 3 days earlier. And it really helps support the channel as well. So obviously it helps pay for paints and brushes and the miniatures and subscriptions and licenses to keep Tabletop Ready functioning. And it's really appreciated. So let's get started. So Alvy Lynn. So here's the lion. I think you've done an amazing job. I love this miniature just personally as well. And there's a few. Let me just find my cursor. There you go, we can zoom in. You've really done this miniature justice. I love your soft highlights and your sharp highlights as well. We've got some freehand on the Purity seals. So again, it's just being a bit choppy. There's a few more pictures to get a better look, but just already it just looks fantastic. It's the back of it. Just a really nice job with these highlights. You've obviously you've blended these colours really well. Because capes can be difficult to do. So obviously they're curved surfaces, so you it can be a bit scary to do like your chunky highlights and then your edge highlights, etc. So glazing's a great way to sort of keep that softness. I love the colours of the lime pelt. Again, just great highlighting. The base is really nice as well. I think we've got a better picture of the base. That sword. Just overall a really nice, well-rendered miniature. Just gonna see if my browser's shut down. I don't know why my laptop's been really laggy. Yeah, looking fantastic. I wonder how long this took to paint. Again, you've just on the all the detailing on the parchment's fantastic. There you go, I've got better little Dark Angel symbols. These parchment shapes are quite interesting. I didn't realise the shape of them. You've even got the letters. Because what I love is that it's not just the scroll work and keeping it very basic like that. You've almost, I feel like that's like almost like a skull, and then you've obviously got your letters, which just elevates it even more. And details on the cloak. Yeah, should be really, really proud of this one. So when you get a big miniature like this, you can keep it quite simple and it'll look amazing, but it's just those, when you look further into the miniature and just being able to like start picking out those small details, that's what really sort of makes a difference. Absolutely fantastic. I do want to paint the line this year. Might have to, it might be my first 2-part video. Yeah, fantastic, well done. Ballistic. So you sent this to me today. I love it. You don't see many word bearers painted, so I was happy to see one sent to me. So you said you had a break from the hobby and you've come back to it recently, and you said you hadn't painted many miniatures, and this is like number 3, like a third miniature you've painted. It's really well rendered. I love the shading you've got, like the recessed shades that you've done. Really nice job with the trim as well. That's the one thing about Chaos miniatures, is the trim. And people not going back and spending that time just tidying things up, and it's especially important when you've got 2 big features on the miniature, like armor and trim. So Ballistic says this is your 4th miniature. I'm really impressed. Great job on the transfer as well. It's one thing I did like straight away noticed. You've definitely got like a great like sense of control with your brush. Because honestly, a lot of the hard work just comes from just keeping everything tidy and spending that time just rendering, making it look clean. Because then what happens after all the highlights and recessed shading after that is going to make more of an impact, as I keep saying. So you've got nice solid colours. Yeah, the transfers and decals can be frustrating. I still have issues doing transfers, but they're really worth it. Yeah, really great. Definitely keep painting. I can see some highlights here. Don't be scared to go light with the highlights, because the highlights are there to stand out. Because you have to remember, these miniatures, you're looking at these miniatures from about usually like a meter away, like quite far away. So don't be scared. That's why you need contrast in your miniatures, because they're really quite small. I had someone make a comment on one of my videos talking about how they don't like the line highlights, which I appreciate. It's a difficult thing to do, and not many people like that style. But they'll mention that it's not natural, and they expect that these miniatures to be highlighted with like natural light or in lighting. But you can't rely on, if you put them in a room, you can't rely on the natural light to bring out those details, just because they're so small, and they're not going to naturally interact with that light in the way they would if they were the actual size they would be. So that's why we artificially create these highlights. Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing more for this and the rest of the squad. Let's have a look at that transfer. And see, you've picked out the details here as well. Again, you've not been scared to sort of push yourself, because obviously I can see 3 colours here that you've gone through, whereas a lot of people, you could just stick with one and just leave it at that. But no, the transfer, you've done a great job with the transfer, and that transfers are tough to get right. You can't tell that you've torn the transfer, so I wouldn't worry. I can't see anything wrong with it. But no, it looks great. Keep practicing. You've definitely got a great foundation. And if you spend a year painting, you'd be surprised at what you'll be painting by the end of the year. But just keep pushing yourself, keep trying. So with every new miniature, try something new. Okay, so next up we've got David. So this is like a diorama he sent in, which I really like. I think there's a couple of these sort of like bigger pieces with like a diorama setting. Nids for Days, we've got your diorama as well, which I love. But this must be like a house chapter that they've created themselves. I love the colours. I love the colours that they've chosen for this chapter, and the yellow casing for the weapon as an accent colour really helps. I couldn't tell you where a lot of these conversion bits are from, so if anyone knows. So this is a Seraphon shield, so they're obviously using Seraphon bits. If anyone does send in their own chapter like this, if they want to just let me know if it's got a name or just a little description would be great. Just obviously I'll have something to talk about when I'm showing it. But no, I love these colours that you've chosen. So I'm going to be honest, you do see some people's own colour schemes and they don't always work, but these colour choices are great because they're all pastel-y colours as well. They're odd, they sort of like match the same intensity. And I like this tarnished gold as well that you've got. And if you're watching this, I think if you treat yourself to some Nylock oxide, you can get some nice weathering in there. I think that'll really tie the metals in with the rest of the colours. And I like that you've got like the brass colour for the weapons as well. The dead guardsman. Yeah, if anyone, I do like seeing people's own chapters, but just let me know if they have a name or give me a little description. My laptop is really playing up, so I do apologise. That's why I'm like staggering a bit, because everything's just a bit janky on my end at least. I like that you've not used the metal here and it's grey. No, well done. If you've seen this, if you've got more of these Marines painted, I'd love to see them. Might have been painted as a competition entry. George Wright, you're with us. So we've got, this is a metal lictor. I love Tyranids. I've got my Tyranids up there. I'm really been looking at them for the past couple of weeks. Let's have a look. One thing I love about the what you've done is the claws. You'll have to tell me as well with the, have you done an overall wash, or you've done more of like a recess shade for this guy? This is more of a classic Leviathan scheme. But it's really well done. There's a lot of nice contrast as well. So really nice sort of bold colours. I do like the classic scheme as well. What's good, you've got the texture lines on the carapace. It's really well done. It definitely shows confidence with your brush. Is this the only... Have you painted more Tyranids, or is this the only Tyranid you painted? I like the green accent. I like the green as well. I don't miss painting metal miniatures though. I did a wash of Karenberg Crimson and then Wraithbone over it again, like in your Tyranid Warrior tutorial. Make sure not to drop this. No, it looks great. You could probably get away with doing a really light dry brush of, say, like White Scar on the flesh, just to help those details come out a bit more. No, but you've got great brush control. Just looking at the highlights for the claws, and then the highlights on the carapace. So hopefully you build that confidence up. So definitely push yourself in that direction. I definitely want to see some more for the end of April, see how you get on. So well done. Love it. So this is your only Tyranid you've done, and you're working on a Swarm Lord already. Yeah, definitely when you finish your Swarm Lord, send a picture of that in as well for me. So well done. Yeah, definitely. You've definitely got like a natural talent for highlighting. So keep it up. Next we've got Jason Wood. I think this was a last minute entry as well. So we've got a Night Lord. I love the style that you've managed to get with this Night Lord. It almost looks like you've got a filter on these pictures. Do you know, like a cel shaded filter? So I'm not sure if this is what the actual miniature looks like, but if it is, it looks great. Because if you've managed to achieve like a cel shaded look, that's impressive. So you'll have to let me know. That was the one thing that I was unsure of, if you'd put a filter on this picture. But if you haven't, I'm super impressed that you've managed to achieve this style. Do people know what I mean when I say it feels like there's almost a filter on this? I'm not saying there is, I'm just saying like it's in such a stylized, it's so stylized. But this is probably one of my actually one of my standout miniatures that I'm showing tonight, just because of like the different style that you've achieved. But again, this is just a great example that you don't need to over render something. Yeah, I think, Stephen, I think you're right, it might just be a little bit of lens blur, but this is just like nice simple colours with some highlights. But yeah, this is one of my sort of standout miniatures, just because it's a style that you don't see very often. It's really well executed. Even you've brought that to the base as well, with the smoke coming from the helmet. Yeah, so I'm just a big fan of different styles at the moment, and it's what I'm sort of looking out for. So if you're watching this, well done. And everybody, this is why it's good to practice your highlighting. So really, really, really love it. Because you could, obviously you've gone for a non-metallic metal look with the axe, with the power blade, the power axe. I think you've gone true metallic metal for the trim here. It looks great still. It doesn't look out of place. And then lightning on the leg. But the one thing about this, there isn't much in the way of shading. So for this, there isn't much in the way of, say, like a recess shade that I would do. But I feel like that actually helps the highlights stand out even more, and adds to that sort of cel shaded look. But no, great. Again, if you've got any more examples of stuff like this, I'd love to see it. Lee, I think you're in the Nids for Days in the chat. So we've seen some of your miniatures and before, and they look amazing. And this, I love it. I couldn't tell you what this miniature is. This is a Forge World miniature. Have you glued all these Krieg down? Or you're able to remove these and use them in a game? Again, I love, because you've always done displays for your miniatures, and that's always what I've loved about what you've sent in. I know you've sent in other stuff as well, but I wanted to show this because it's really impressive. And I think so this is a Tyranid Harpy. Just looking at this, we've got a better. I can tell how much you've actually improved from looking at previous miniatures that you've sent in to this guy. Whether you've just decided to spend more time on this guy, but you've definitely leveled up. So you could probably put these on bases still, make like little slots for the bases, and it wouldn't look out of place. Just so you can maybe use them in a game. But obviously this is your stuff. I'm just thinking out loud. But no, really, really nicely well rendered. You've almost got like a flame, sort of feel to the carapace. If you send stuff in again, just try and get different angles of your miniatures, because obviously it would be nice to see the back of it as well. A really nice diorama. Personally, I don't think I've got the patience to do a diorama. Love it. Yeah, so you've added more gaunts and rippers. Yeah, I'd like to see different angles of this as well. Because there's a lot going on. See how close we can get in. And yeah, there is a TableTopReady subreddit, r/TableTopReady. The link for that's actually in the description as well. So if you didn't want to wait for these live streams, or if you didn't want to become a patron or member, you can use that subreddit and post images there. And I do actually go in there and look at that as well. I don't always have time to comment and upvote, but I do go in there and I do look at what people are doing. So it'd be nice for you guys to send pictures into that subreddit as well and get that used, because that's obviously free to use if you're on Reddit, or if you just join up to Reddit. You just need an account, obviously. Matt from Virginia. You were in the chat earlier, I believe. So this is, I believe you've returned to the hobby as well, and this is, you've not painted many miniatures. But again, I'm very impressed. I feel like I wasn't this, like, my first miniature never looked this good. I know this I couldn't remember if this was your first miniature, but it's definitely one of the few like early miniatures that you like definitely new to the hobby or returning to the hobby. It's easy to see that you've put a lot of care and attention into this miniature, and I can see the enjoyment you had painting this guy. Just from seeing all the buttons and stuff and the details separated out. And it's hard to see in this picture, but I can, like, the lenses as well. It's tough to, like, these are all intimidating details. Really, like, intimidating details, and you've obviously got some of the a shade on the end of the flamer there, and the Infernus flamer. Matt Owens, hello from Virginia. Just hopped onto the stream and you're looking at mine. Yeah, that was my, yeah, so this is your first miniature. I was just saying, like, I can tell that you really enjoyed painting this miniature. I can tell, like, you put a lot of care and attention into it. So really well done. Because I'm going to be honest, not even I always want to pick out all these details. And you've not been intimidated. Matt says, I'm super proud of what I was able to do with my first guy. I'm almost done with the squad and they're looking even better. I'm really glad. I'd like to see the whole squad. I love that you've even gone and done highlighting. I love it. You've got some details there as well. So no, you should be really proud of this guy. And the colours are great as well. And I reckon you're going to be a fast learner. So I can tell you think about what you're doing. So well done. You had fun with the base as well. Keep it up, keep practicing, keep painting. You'd be surprised how quickly you can learn and improve. So I think there's one later on where they've shown me what their first miniature, and then like the second miniature is completely leveled up. So well done. Just let my computer catch up again. Nick with some orcs. I love orcs. I do need to paint. I want to paint some more for the channel. I think I'm going to do a shock attack gun soon. Again, use the subreddit, post in there. So this is the War Boss Killer Trike, I think it's called. You haven't got the boss here. I know you said you're painting these for a tournament you're entering. And these guys, you're just trying to get these painted for that. So I wonder if you followed my tutorial, because it looks like you've gone for the paint all your metals, give it a wash and a dry brush, which is a great way to paint orc vehicles. I love the colours that you've chosen for this. Dildo. I won't say that name, but that's quite funny. You almost had me. The one thing I loved when I was still in the hobby is seeing how far my painting game got from when I was 9, when I bought and painted my first Black Templar army. Yeah, you feel like you can be painting and feel like you're not making any sort of like progress, but it's easy to look back and see what a difference like practice and time can make. Funny name. You've done a great job on the orc skin. I just, if you're watching, Nick, take some better pictures for me, because some of the lighting's not that great. I'd like to see some different angles as well. But no, really great colour choices as well. The red and yellow work really nicely with the green. And then we've got some bikes for it as well. Again, I just love bright and vibrant colours for orcs. Some nice highlighting as well. Oh, hang on. So yeah, I'd definitely be interested in seeing more of your stuff. I'd just like to have some better pictures. I'd like to see, because you say you've got an army already, I'd like to see the rest of the army. So if people have got armies, take pictures of your armies as well, not just individual miniatures. I'd love to see like collections as well. And hobby spaces. I like to see people's hobby spaces and where they do their painting. So yeah, I'd like to see more of your stuff. I obviously like orcs. So take some pictures of your full army as well for me. Ruben, you sent a work in progress of this back at the end of last year. And then you sent some pictures of the finished Dreadnought. I can see the base is still drying there. I love the colours on this Dreadnought. You've done a great job with these gradients. You've just gone to town on this Dreadnought and it's paid off. And I love all the weathering you've done for the transfers as well. And all the chips and the bullet holes. It just really, it's not, because a lot of people overdo it and it can really sort of be distracting, but it works really well with like the actual style that you've painted the Dreadnought in, with all this weathered transfers and the chips and the scratches. It all works together. I'm not sure how long Ruben's been painting for, Oh, so we've got Ruben here. So yeah, this is from your video on the ballistas. Yeah, you've done a great job following the techniques and things I use in that video. No, but you've done a really great job. Because obviously you've used what I've shown in that video, and you've sort of gone and added even more stuff to it. But it's really well done. And you've done a great job on the knee here. So you've been painting 10 years, now you can tell. And all this, like all the work you've put into it, it's been worth it, definitely. I think we've got a different pic. We've got a... If my computer catches up, there we go. So these are some of your ultramarines in the foreground. I've got my dreadnought here. So even on my dreadnought, if I'm going to be honest, I wish I'd worked more on the markings for mine and weathered them a bit more. You can't really see in this light, unfortunately, but no, you've done a great job. This is a great picture of the dreadnought here. Yeah, Luke Skywalker. To send it to the email address, it's in the description of all my videos. And anyone else who's watching, the next time I do one of these will be at the end of April. So I want to see, I do want to see finished miniatures because they're more they're just nicer to look at rather than working in progress pictures. But I do want to see pictures of collections as well, or armies and factions, not just individual miniatures. I know there's a lot of new painters out there, so you might not have painted a lot. But if you do have them, I would like to see that. And as well as works, people have got interest in areas that they paint in, so it's always nice to see that as well. Yeah, this looks great. So like it would have been nice to see some of the ultramarines that you've done as well, so maybe like for the end of April we can see some of the rest of the ultramarines that you've painted, or if you've got something else of the things that you've painted. But you should really be proud of this dreadnought. I do like this marking that you've done here, and the markings look great. And I like how they're just overstated in a way, like they're a massive part of the miniature. Whereas obviously I've painted my dreadnought to sort of match the one on the box art, and the markings are understated and they don't really sort of jump out at you. But I love markings on Space Marines and vehicles, so I'm glad you've went in that direction. Yeah, no, so well done. Ryan Potter, I believe you're in the chat as well. This is another one where I wish you'd kind of... I would have liked to have had some closer images. Mario just got into the hobby and came across your video recently. The Gene Stealer cult video is top notch. Yeah, the Gene Stealer cult video is one of the tutorials I'm the proudest of, because they're very different to a lot of the other factions that you get in Warhammer 40k. So it was a real challenge to paint them in a way to make them accessibly paintable for people and still have them look like the box. And that's the challenge I'm quite looking forward to having for the Emperor's Children. Ryan Potter, yeah, there should be a few images we'll remember for next time. Yeah, there's a lot of images, they're just all quite far away. And I just found myself looking at them wishing that you'd sent like a closer like picture of it. But really nice. It's a big, I know it's obviously it's a difficult miniature to take a picture of because it's quite large. But no, you've done a great job. I love this eye that you've painted. Like when you obviously could just start with like a flat surface and you've literally just painted like a Rembrandt on it. So no, really well done. Because because painting miniatures isn't the same as say painting a 2D image. I feel like it's a different skill set. So being able to do something like this shows me that maybe you do or have done in the past maybe sort of like traditional art. Or if you haven't, it might be something you might want to try, because I think you'd be very good at it. And I'll definitely have a look at maybe doing some freehand banners. I think you'd probably get a lot of enjoyment out of doing something like that. So this is the Chaos War Shrine, I think. Originally it came out for Warhammer Fantasy Battles, but it's now in the Age of Sigmar range. And we'll have, in the pictures you'll get to see sort of a bit more of what it's meant to look like, but there's a couple of like Chaos Trolls carrying this shrine, and I think it's either got like a Chaos Sorcerer or Chaos Lord on the back. And it's usually used to like buff your units. So it's used like an altar. Like I would have liked to seen this guy at a different angle. Again, you really enjoyed painting that eye. James Dorwood just joined your Patreon, dude. Just trying to remember my Discord login. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate you doing that. Yeah, if you do have any difficulties getting to Discord, please message me. Hopefully you'll get into the Discord. Okay, so this miniature's not in the current range anymore, Steven says. So this will probably come back. Not even in the, because obviously they've re-released the Warriors of Chaos, so that's a shame. I'm sure at some point it'll come back to the range. Ryan Potter was my first big model, only been in the hobby since so halfway through last year, but done A-level arts. Yeah, I can tell you've done traditional art, and it's great to see that you're able to bring those skills into this. It's incredible that you've only come into the hobby sort of last year. I would look at this and I'll probably say maybe like 3 years. So you should be proud of this. And you've even done eyes. I didn't start painting eyes on my miniatures until last year, and I've been doing this 25 years. So I hope you feel encouraged to do more. Fishers, thank you very much for subscribing if you're watching. Anyone else who's subscribed throughout this live stream, I do really appreciate it. Again, like here, I would have liked to have seen a bit of a clearer picture, because I can see you've got some colour variation going on in the skin. We've got some blood. you've done a great job as well with the blood spat. It's not overdone, and you've obviously thought about it. And I like the texture you've got on like this tarnished metal. You're an artist. Yeah, and things, it's just tough to see all this detail down here. Matt, can you tell me how you would fix the mistakes for someone who uses your guide on how to paint Pallet Hand Plague Marines? Should I use base Screaming Skull and then thin Seraphim Sapir again? So there's two ways you can tidy up your Pallet Hand. You can just go in with your Wraith. If it's not a lot of tidying up, you can actually just get away with using the base colours and it won't cause too much issues. You won't have to redo the wash. Or you could use, say, like a colour that matches the tone that you've created after the wash. So as you say, instead of the Wraithbone, you could use Screaming Skull because it's a little bit darker and matches the colour better after you've done the wash. Which I think I've done. But I don't always want to say that in the video. I want to show best practice in the video. Don't apologise for being off topic. It's a good question. But it's definitely worth tidying them up, but you don't necessarily have to redo the wash. You can if you want, that's totally up to you. But you could just find a colour match for those colours after the wash, which I did personally. I use Screaming Skull to tidy up bits here, because it doesn't look too, it's not very noticeable if you don't have to do a lot. But if you do need to do a lot of tidying up, I probably would go back in with the Wraithbone base colour and then just apply the wash in those areas again. But it's up to you. Fishers of Men, when can we order or pre-order the new Phoenix Lords? I'm not sure. Usually when things are announced by Games Workshop, you usually see them within the next quarter, so I'll probably see them end of February, I would have thought, March time. But not anytime soon, because I feel like they've still got stuff to show off the Aldari. Steven says Morghast is the same colour as Wraithbone plus Skeleton Horde. Yeah, so Morghast, Skeleton Horde. It just depends on what colours you've already got. Ryan Potter, I wish my phone had a decent camera. I'll resend them after the live stream. I part assembled all the mini to get the most detail. Yeah, when you've got a big miniature like this, you definitely need to like do it in sub assemblies. And the base as well. The base is great. So again, another one where I wish I'd like to see other miniatures as well. I do want to do some tutorials on the new Aspect Warriors. But yeah, they're probably not going to be out until like March. Because I'd expect to see the Emperor's Children before the Phoenix Lords. These eyes are everywhere. You might want to do Sons of Horus. For Horus Heresy. Get your eye fix. But again, yeah, I'd love to see like a focused picture and just see sort of like how you've done the colours, getting the different sort of colour tones. Is this the miniature you get for the shrine? That looks like a corn miniature. Yeah, great job. Great, fantastic base as well. Send more pictures. let my laptop is really playing up. I think what the problem is, every time I open up OBS just recently, it's always asking me to update, do updates. Steve. So Steve is new to the hobby as well. This is his first miniature, and then he's painted some more Black Legion as well, which I've got pictures of. And this was done, he says he's followed the tutorial that I made. But another one, again, I can't believe this is like a first miniature. Ryan Potter, you're very welcome. Thank you for sending in the pictures. Again, everybody submit pictures to the subreddit. You can join the Discord by becoming Patreon or a member. So you don't always have to just wait for these live streams. There's loads of different ways you can share your pictures with me and the community. Oh yeah, this is a different Steve. I won't use the full name a lot of the time if they haven't signed off with the full, if they haven't signed off with the full name. One thing I've only just noticed as well, you've got some nice sort of like texture going on in the material as well. It's not just the highlights. I painted Black Legion in my early days and it didn't look this good. So this is a miniature he's done later on, and one thing I can tell straight away is how much cleaner your highlights are, because obviously these are quite thick. There's a lot of but when you go like to another miniature, you can tell there's already an improvement just on. So this is what I've been saying all evening. It's just like the difference going from one miniature to the next miniature. It's crazy, especially when you're first starting out. It's a very steep learning curve. Like this is a miniature from the same squad that they're painting. Like this is good, but this is better. So really well done. George, right, yeah, that texture is really cool for the cloth, makes it stand out, and different rest, and makes it look different from the armor. This is a good tip if you ever enter in the competition. Think about the different textures, the different details we'll have on the miniature, because you don't want to highlight everything the same. Like obviously you can edge highlight everything, but then everything's going to look like it's made of the same thing. It's just going to look like a miniature. So if you do stuff like this for the cloth, as you say, it separates it from the armor, and that's a good tip for entering competitions, is rendering the different details differently. That's the first thing I would look at. That's why I like doing the chips and the scratches in the armor, because it just adds a bit more interest as well. Because you want to be able to look at a miniature and be like, oh, I didn't see that, I didn't see this, because I didn't see that. I've only just seen it now on my big screen, because before I think I was only able to see it as I was sort of like getting it ready, so I missed details. Because I do like to save a lot of these for when I'm seeing it live with you guys. But yeah, think about different ways to render your details. So like leather straps, Leather straps, I want to sort of learn to do a bit better, like the crackly effect. Material like cloth. What other sort of details can you have? Because it all adds, because it helps with to make a miniature look weathered, and it looks more grounded. And even stuff like, say, like the Tyranid carapace, it's always good to sort of add those texture lines on there as well. And then obviously you've got cloaks and capes and things with large folds, large curved areas. That's when it's good to use your glazing effects to get smoother colour transitions, just like we saw on the lion to start with. So you've seen, like I've done my chaplain video, there's a lot of, I've done texture for his leather coat on that. Yeah, so it's all that stuff. And then obviously you've got the Terminator Librarian that I've done with the glowing runes. That's another sort of way to sort of add interest to a miniature. Stephen, people stipple their leathers and I need to learn to do that. Yeah, I thought I'd be able to do the chaplain tutorial and use that as a way to sort of learn that, but I ended up using the chaplain tutorial as a sort of a gap filler. So I kind of missed an opportunity there. This is the squad that they've painted. And I'm so impressed. If these are your first miniatures, and the bases as well, I've just noticed the bases now. You've done a great job on the plasma. So really well done. I would be really happy to have these as my miniatures. So really, really well done. I'm not sure. I know you've painted the guy with the power fist on his own. I'm not sure. I think you mentioned you batch painted the rest. I think batch painting is a good way to go for units as well, because especially when starting out and there's so much difference between miniatures, it's good to batch paint, because it teaches sort of like the repetition just helps with that building that muscle memory. And it helps with a consistent look between the whole unit. Yeah, miniatures, even like nice bases, miniatures, individually they look good, but if you've done a squad to this level, they look amazing together. And this is achievable by everyone. So really well done. Yeah, the barrels, you could put like a little drop of, like paint a little chaos black on the end. I don't like drilling out my barrels. I think it's a pointless exercise for me personally, but I'll just paint a little black, like a black circle on the end. It does help. And then Stephen, so we saw Stephen's Carnifex earlier. I think I've still got the image. So Stephen's been a long time supporter of TableTopReady and a great member of the community and supportive for everybody. So I always enjoy showing your miniatures. Oh, so you can have. So this is. So this Screamer Killer is the most recent miniature you've painted. So we can compare. Personally, I think this Screamer Killer is probably one of the best things you've painted so far. And when you say this was done quickly, that just shows how much you've learned as well, because you're able to sort of render things quickly, and how much you've learned because you're able to apply it quickly, if that makes sense. Tap Blue. Hey man, currently building my first Archangel Intercessors and looking forward to following your guide. I left a comment asking about Inner Circle Companions. Yeah, I think I replied to that comment. I think you had a bit of an autocorrect issue, but I do want to do the Lion and Inner Circle later this year. Yeah, so Stephen's doing a lot of painting at the minute, because I don't think you painted much at all last year, but you've painted a lot just in the past month or so. But yeah, it's just really well done. This is a Bretonian. Or high elf. No, this is a high elf, but because it's got little elf ears. I really like the colours for this. The High Elf Everqueen. It's a really nice miniature. So this is one you've painted recently as well. Really nice. Are you going to be doing a High Elf army this year? I'm guessing. You said you were painting, you've got some old Dark Eldar miniatures from 3rd edition. I love the character that these have. You take for granted like old miniatures when they're out, and then you're like, oh, these look stupid, but then they grow on you. The one thing I will criticise you on, only because I feel like you're getting into the painting now, is slow down when you're highlighting. Because I feel like you can get cleaner lines. Because you can go back and clean these lines up. Because even I have to do that. It can be a pain, but it makes a huge difference, especially on really sharp edges. Because I think you're just ready to sort of go that next level now. I feel like we can just sort of take a bit of extra time. You said your brushes are dead. Yeah, it's worth getting some new ones. And I feel like we could just get cleaner lines. I think that'll be your next thing to work on. Some cleaner highlights. Because as well, when you're layering your highlights, it's tough to get thinner and thinner. So that's why I do when it comes to like doing the chunky highlight, I think I over exaggerate a chunky highlight for my videos and personally. If anyone from the Every Metal team are going to tell you, I think they say it's like double the width of an edge highlight. But I'll probably do a little bit thicker than that, just to give me some room to do the edge highlight. And as I was saying earlier about rendering your different materials, so you could do like your line highlights for the cloth, or like the softer highlights, and do more of a soft glaze for the skin. And just start thinking about different ways, how like the different ways to highlight the different materials. But yeah, but you've always had, like everything you've shown, you've always had a great sort of you've always been able to highlight your miniatures really well. And I know, like, just from experience, like when you take pictures of your miniatures, it can really up the contrast, and it can really sort of make those highlights really stand out, whereas in person they obviously look a lot softer. I know that. Yeah, some skeletons that you've done, I think these look wicked. I think the highlighting on these guys you've done a great job on. And do you know what the difference is? Because these are small details, whereas obviously when it comes to highlighting armor, there's a lot of highlighting to do, so you can lose focus, and this just seems like a fun thing to highlight, and you can see the difference. You can see there's a little bit more care, but this is that I'm not trying to like pick on you, but I feel like criticism, not even criticism, but something to look at. Because even with that, like the Screamer Killer, your highlights on that are really nice. But again, there's not a lot to highlight on that Screamer Killer. So you're able to sort of, you don't feel like you have to rush. And I know these ones you've painted recently as well. Like the highlights on these were really nice. These ones I think these have been on your workbench for a year, haven't they? But you've recently painted these. But I know you spent a good couple of weeks painting these guys. Really nicely done. Great job on the eye lenses. Again, these stand out from the armor, so your eye's drawn to them. Really good. So yeah, definitely going in the right direction. I said, if you didn't want to paint armies, I think you'd be a good competition painter. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, really nice job. Getting all the different textures and stuff looks great on, like, Plague Marines are great to practice the different techniques for, like, because obviously they've got cloth, they've got bone, they've got the leather, They've got plasma weapons. You can do tentacles. The blade, you can do like rust effects, like corrosion, pustules. So if you really, I think like Darren Latham did a series where he painted like a pox lord. And he showed different ways to render the different areas. And I can see why he used a Nurgle miniature. And because you get the opportunity to practice all those different techniques on like one miniature. So if you really want to paint, push yourself in that direction, look at painting Nurgle, I suppose. And I think the Emperor's Children are going to be a really good faction to really push yourself on as well. Yeah, so you can't stop painting now. So thank you very much. Really great. Really good, really good. And I think that's it. I think that's everybody. So we'll have a quick rundown of what we saw. So we've got Stevens miniatures. 8 Park 96, those are really cool Nurgle Chaos Space Marines. Well done. I agree. Again, everybody, if you I'm going to be doing like this showcase every quarter, so the next one's probably going to be the end of April. So if anyone wants to submit miniatures, I would like to see finished miniatures. Even if they're your first miniatures, I think like these Chaos Marines here, they're first miniatures. And no matter how good you think they are, like there's always something to take away from what you've done. So yeah, you can email them to me at contact@tabletop.ready.co.uk and I can show them on a stream. So we've had some orcs. This is a first miniature, a Blood Angel. I think if you put a lot of care and attention into a miniature, it really shows like this. I've had a couple of dioramas. A nicely rendered Night Lord. As I say, I love this one because you've up here it's almost like a non-metallic metal. It's like a cell shaded in a way that I really like. We've had a Lictor. Some really nice highlights on this guy. And if you've got your own chapters that you've created, if I show them, I'd like to be able to tell people the name of maybe like the chapter you've created and maybe a bit about them. I've had a word bearer. Really nicely done transfer on this. And then we started with the lion. Some great detail work on parchment and so I feel like no matter what level you think you're at, it's a great hobby to be able to share what you're working on because it's great to see different approaches and what people are doing. And as George Wright says, every mini shown tonight was great. It's also cool how complimentary people have been tonight about with this hobby. Yeah, I think it's great and that's why I like doing this. So please continue to send me pictures of what you're working on. And again, you can share them in the Reddit. And also if you're a Patreon member or channel member, you can join the Discord, which I will not forget to put a link in for the channel members after the stream. But again, thank you very much, everybody. I really love looking at your miniatures, so please keep working hard and keep practicing. But I think we're going to call that an end there. We're close to 3 hours, which I think is a good amount of time. You can usually tell when time has to end because I'm losing my voice. And we've had a lot of people tonight in the chat whose miniatures we've seen. So it's great to be able to talk to people who's painted these miniatures. So, what's the plan? So I do want to do a live stream next week. It'll probably be on Sunday next week. It'll be a hobby hangout, like what we've been doing over the past few weeks. Frank M, thank you. Yeah, please like this. Please like the stream. It'd be really help. You can press that little heart icon. Oh, I have to sign into Google. Oh no. Okay. So the plan is Marnius Kalgar, his tutorial is out tomorrow evening. I've not finished editing the video. We'll finish that tomorrow morning. And that'll be released to Patreon members and channel members. And then I'll release it. It'll probably be out about 7 o'clock. It'll be out at 7 o'clock GMT time on the Sunday. Same time as it usually is. Spark69 enjoyed it, joined late, and will be replaying beginning. Thanks for doing this. You're very welcome. I love doing it. And again, please don't be intimidated and think, oh, my stuff's not that great to show. Please just send it in. We're all here to support each other, and I'll never say anything. As I say, I know I've probably maybe given some feedback here and there, but there's always great things to take from all the miniatures that we've seen. And then, yeah, so tomorrow will be Marnius Kalgar's video tomorrow evening. Hopefully it's going to be quite a popular one. I've been waiting to get that out for the past like 3 weeks. And then we're working on some Age of Sigmar content through February and March. Next week's live stream, I'm thinking we might do some transfers, because obviously we've done some painting, we've done some building, we've done sub-assemblies, and I've got some stuff I need to do transfers on, so I think we might look at doing some transfers. In my videos I use the microset and microsol. What I might do is I might go out and buy Tamiya's decal softener, because I'm really interested, because you only need one. It comes like a little brush applicator, and I've been wanting to try that out, so I might try that out on stream next week. Sorry, I'm a bit gassy. So yeah, we'll do some transfers next Sunday, because I think a lot of people struggle with that, and it'd be interesting to show. And I think over like the 2.5 hours we can get some transfers finished, because I need to do some transfers on the some of the Imperial Fists that I finished anyway, so that'd be quite an interesting live stream to do. But yeah, I think that's what's planned at the moment. So the next video after Marnius Kalgar is going to be a beginner Stormcast video, and you'll get updates to how that's done throughout the week. My idea, it's not going to be a complicated paint scheme. It is going to be aimed at beginners using the starter sets. I haven't decided whether it's going to be the gold scheme or the silver scheme, and I might even do both, but that's something I've got to think about. And then after that, it's going to be the Skaven. Yeah, so I think we'll call that an end. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me in the stream. I love doing them. And I'm definitely going to continue doing them once a week, because I love the hobby hangout. Whenever there's a hobby hangout, I'll be over. I'll get set up on there, and you'll see me actually do some hobbying, and you can always come in and ask your hobby questions, and I can spend more time actually showing you, because it's quite difficult to do when it's just me on the camera here. So thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you next Sunday. It'll probably be 5 or 5:30 again on the Sunday. And please make sure to go watch the Marnie's Calgar video tomorrow, and make sure to leave loads of comments and like the video for me. Because when you leave likes and comments, it activates the algorithm, because it's interaction with that video. Because the algorithm sees that people like the video so much, that they're commenting and liking the video, it pushes that video out even more. That's why it's really important to like and comment. Even if it's a silly comment, I don't mind. But thank you. Nathan, thanks man, you're great. I'll have you on while I'm doing my painting. I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Thank you. I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you next week.